Understanding these two types of retirement accounts can mean the difference between paying thousands of dollars in taxes later in life and paying nothing. Hello and welcome to Practical Personal Finance, where you get the information you need to understand and succeed with money. I'm Andrew Shear, and if you're looking to save for retirement, then you need to understand the differences between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. That's why today I'm going to explain how these two types of retirement accounts work, how they're different, and which one you're better off using to build your retirement savings. Before I get started, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button too. You're about to learn something new about money. A traditional IRA and a Roth IRA are both examples of individual retirement accounts. And the way they work on a basic level is very similar to other retirement accounts, like a 401k, 403b, or a 457b. When you open an IRA, you can deposit money into it, just like a savings or checking account. But IRAs have special tax advantages that savings and checking accounts do not have. And once you've deposited money into an IRA, you can put it to work by investing it in things like stocks, mutual funds, and index funds. Now that you understand the general concept of how an IRA works, let's talk about how traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs are different. We'll start with the tax advantages. For this part, it's important to understand the difference between pre-tax income and post-tax income. Pre-tax income is the money you earn at your job before taxes get taken out. Post-tax income is the amount you get with your paycheck after taxes get taken out. I remember getting my first paycheck and learning the hard way about this concept. Good times. Anyhow, when you deposit money into a traditional IRA, it's pre-tax dollars. So the money you deposit does not get taxed up front. Instead, it gets taxed later on when you withdraw that money and any earnings during retirement. When you're retired and pull that money out to pay your bills, it's taxed just like if it were your regular income. So how is a Roth IRA different? Well, when you deposit money into a Roth IRA, it's post-tax dollars. So you'll have less money up front to deposit and invest with. But when you're retired and pull that money out, it's 100% tax-free, including any earnings from your investments. If you're hearing all this for the first time, it might be a little bit confusing. So I enlisted John McCann, who has over 35 years of experience in the retirement planning industry, to help you understand.
The logic on saving for pre-tax is that I'm not taking the money out of my pocket now and paying taxes. I'm going to earn money on the full amount. Let's say you're deducting post-tax. If I'm in a 25% tax bracket, I'm only going to be able to invest 75 cents. If I do it pre-tax, I take that full dollar. That dollar earns money till I take it out. Then along with the dollar and the earnings, I'm taxed on that full amount. So, with compound interest, you're having more money essentially to invest by doing it pre-tax.
Anyone can open an IRA as long as you or your spouse has some earned income. But that doesn't mean everyone gets to enjoy the same tax advantages I just described. Depending on your situation, your benefits might look a little bit different.
Caveat on the IRA, deductibility, whether it's tax-free, depends on how much your income is. You can't make over X amount of dollars, and whether or not you're covered by a pension plan at work.
If your workplace offers an employer-sponsored retirement plan and you earn more than a certain amount per year, you'll only be able to contribute post-tax dollars to a traditional IRA. At that point, you may as well go with the Roth IRA, right? Well, if your income is more than $139,000 per year as an individual or more than $206,000 per year as a married couple, I got some bad news for you. You won't even be permitted to open a Roth IRA. But don't worry if you're one of those high earners. I'll let you in on a little secret. Just search online for a backdoor Roth IRA. You can thank me later. Next, let's talk about getting your money back out of your IRA once it's been deposited. With a traditional IRA, you're only allowed to begin withdrawing your money once you reach age 59 and a half. If you want to withdraw it before then, you'll be stuck paying a 10% penalty in addition to any taxes you owe on the withdrawal. Not so great. With a Roth IRA, you're free to withdraw money that you've deposited into the account at any time. You don't need to worry about paying any taxes or penalties because, remember, it was post-tax dollars that you put in. You still need to wait until age 59 and a half to withdraw any earnings from your investments, though. What if you were still working and earning a salary at age 59 and a half? What if you just didn't need to withdraw anything from your IRA? With both the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA, you'll be covered in a situation like this. You can let your money just sit there and continue to grow thanks to your savvy investing. That is, until you hit age 72. At age 72, it's mandatory that you begin to withdraw money from your traditional IRA. This is called a required minimum distribution, or RMD. But there aren't any RMDs with a Roth IRA. You can leave your money alone until the day you die, no matter how old you get. That money can continue growing and compounding until it's eventually passed on to your heirs. Whether you decide to go with a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a combination of both, you'll be limited to $6,000 of deposits per year. If you're over age 50, that limit is increased to $7,000. And whatever you choose, you've got until April 15th of the following year when you file your tax return to make your contributions. If I had to choose between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, I'd go with the Roth. Not necessarily because of the ability to withdraw my contributions or because of the lack of required minimum distributions, but because of the tax advantages. Compound interest is just so powerful. By the time I'm ready to retire, most of the money in my IRA is going to be earnings from my investments. And I'd much prefer those earnings to be tax-free rather than taxed as I take them out. Whichever you choose, what's most important is that you're saving for retirement at all. There's going to come a day when you'll no longer be able to work, and when that day comes, you want to be ready financially.
Most folks now don't have a pension plan, so Social Security, hopefully it's going to survive. Then it's up to you to be saving your money for retirement, and that's why it's key. That's why it's important to save as soon as you possibly can, because the more you start now, the better off you'll be later.
I want to thank John McCann for answering my questions about saving for retirement. If you'd like to hear our entire conversation, check out the Practical Personal Finance podcast and look for episode number 11. It's available right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you'd like to connect with John, you can find his LinkedIn profile down below. Do you prefer the traditional IRA or the Roth IRA? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, click right here to learn about how much you need to save in order to retire. And if you want to learn something new about money every week, click right here to become a PPF subscriber. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew Scheer, and I'll see you next time.